Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, entitled The Forest of Enjoyment. Text 37. Etambrita vyati sangha vivrita vairano pipurva vasanaya vasanaya mita udvati atha pavahati. Okay.
Mazan came and went. Sweet origin.
Aye. Tell her to shut up. Okay, any points from yesterday? Yeah.
Dharma means to learn the cause and after learning lead the spiritual life.
Dharma means to learn what?
Means to learn the cause, what is the cause, how to practice that dharma.
What kind of cause? What kind of note is this? That's incomplete, almost maybe incorrect point. Dharma means what? Anybody else know anything about Dharma?
It's the cause and effect of action.
Cause and effect of action. See? It's more clear. Just cause what? Yeah. Okay. Dharma means to understand how the laws of nature are working and what is the nature of what we are dealing with, including what our nature is. If we don't know that, then how can we perform any dharma? If we don't know the nature of the objects or people we are dealing, or even if we don't know our own nature. So dharma of everything should be understood. Then it is possible to connect and accomplish something, either with the objects, either with the people. No. So everything has its own dharma. That's the point. So you have to know that. If I know the dharma of the pen, what is the dharma of the pen?
Writing.
To write. But can I use that for cleaning my ears, maybe? I mean, I could use it. But is it so effective? Maybe you get some paint in your ears, or you get some nice drawings or something, some kind of graffitis. It's not, so that's why we have to know the Dharma. If you know, okay, pen is meant for this, okay, I use it for this. What else we can use the pen for? We can use pen for so many other things. Now we can use it for the plug, like in the electricity plug, We can do that. Maybe it will work. But the real Dharma, it's the pen, it's meant for writing, no? That's the whole point. So then you get the best result. Okay, what else?
Nowadays people sacrifices their life for their family, even though they never get respect.
Okay, yes, people sacrifice for the cause they deem worthy. Just close the door. What's your problem? That's what. Next time you close from outside. That's it. That's a different thing. Then you open. Okay. So yes. So that's another thing. Yes, you should that is one part of Dharma. Yes, one should sacrifice for family, but we see that family doesn't sacrifice for others, no? Other members of the family. There is no reciprocation. So that may sometimes be a trouble. And it's not sometimes, it's always a trouble in life. Even when you want to perform Dharma, somebody else doesn't. Yeah? And, then how will things function? It becomes very difficult. It becomes a challenge. But still, that doesn't mean that we have to desist following our Dharma. No? Yeah, even if others don't respond. You perform your Dharma and then you see where that leads you. Yeah? Leads you towards at least some other option where somebody else will perform Dharma and then you can coordinate with them. So that means if in the family nobody performs Dharma, that means that's not a family. No? It's like that. What to do? Then you take vanaprastha. Okay, any other point?
Mentioned about having a land is also sometimes, like Prabhupada says that every devotee should have lands.
Yeah, we were talking about independence, at least in terms of food. No. Okay, what else? Because nowadays, what you're buying? What you're buying from the store? You have even no idea what you're buying, practically. How contaminated that might be. No. So many times it happens, especially in the West. And devotees discover, it has some animal product, this, that, whatever. So many things. Once, I remember during Prabhupada time, devotees were saying they were buying bread, and you want to have bread pakoras. Yeah. They were buying bread. And then one time somebody went into bread factory to distribute books or whatever else. They went and they saw that those trays where they bake the bread, they use the pig's fat, to put on the tray. And then they put bread, that they bake the bread. Is bread vegetarian? Yes, bread is vegetarian. Haribol. So we have no idea what's going on. That's why it's better we cook ourselves, we make everything ourselves, and we have proper consciousness. As much as possible. No? And we buy bread from outside and we make bread pakoras. Yeah, we made bread pakoras. Yeah, but who made the bread? No? Okay, what else?
Vedic time, old age people have some knowledge.
We talked about, that was a question, that was not
they are not burden for their family completely.
Yeah, we talked about old age was respected and valued. Nowadays it's not, because neither old people have anything to offer, no. Neither young people have any culture. It's like that. That's Kali Yuga. A lot of fun like this. A lot of fun. Everybody's very selfish, and you end up being alone, selfishly. You can't get along with anyone because you don't respect anyone, and then nobody will value and respect you either. Yeah. Although you may demand, how many times? I've seen this very often. Sometimes the father will demand respect and that somebody follows him and this and that, which is natural in one way, but but he will demand. But then he will have terrible relationship with his own father. I've seen that over and over. Yeah. So then, what kind of inspiration that's going to be for anyone else to comply to his demands of following and listening him? No? It's not going to work. That's the same principle is there in spiritual practice or in just in teaching in general. If you want to be a good teacher, then you have to be a good disciple. No? You want to be a guru and you have to be disciple first. And always. Because you're always disciple to your spiritual master. That never, even you may become a guru or whatever, but you're always disciple still. Yeah. Same thing in the family. Yeah. What did Krishna do? When Krishna would meet Pandavas, what would Krishna do? He would offer respect to Yudhishthira Maharaj. No? No. He would touch the feet of Bhima also. No? He would hug Arjuna, and he would allow Nakula and Sahadev to touch his feet. That never changed. It's just according to position. No? So Krishna also would act. He would follow the culture. No? It's not that Krishna would just. When he's playing certain role, of course, he is Bhagavan. Everybody should touch his feet in one sense, but they're in certain positions, so he follows that. No? Sets the example. Okay, anything else? Yesterday.
When we follow Dharma, it leads to purity of heart.
Okay, when we follow Dharma, it leads to purity of heart. Really? Who said that?
Yesterday.
I said that? Yes, because the heart doesn't become contaminated with results of adharma. So when you follow Dharma, then all the adharma becomes purified. No? All the anarthas. Everything becomes purified. Because one doesn't become entangled. And one becomes properly situated. As long as that then becomes the case, everything else will be removed, purified. And then one will have clean heart, yes. Clean mind, clean consciousness. Okay, so let's see today. Punk at some point. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He said, although people may be enemies, in order to fulfill their desires, again and again, they sometimes get married. Unfortunately, these marriages do not last very long, and the people involved are separated again by divorce or other means. Of course, there was no question, there was no even concept of divorce in the Vedic system. No? Concept of divorce was introduced, anyway, we won't have to say, in the last century by someone. Anyway, I don't have to talk about it. So, purport, means divorce didn't exist. If somehow or other it was so heavy disagreement or just inability to live together, then they would just live together. But there was no question of divorce and then marrying somebody else again. No. That's it. As stated previously, even conditioned soul has the propensity to cheat, even in marriage. Everywhere in this world, one conditioned soul is envious of another. For the time being, people may remain friends, but eventually they become enemies again and fight over money. Sometimes they marry and then separate by divorce or other means. I was just, some days back, there was some article that the man asked for divorce because his wife was asking more money than what he was earning. She was spending like anything on so many things. And he just couldn't maintain, And I was like, so I was forced, he said, divorce. On the whole, unity is never permanent. Due to the cheating propensity, both parties always remain envious Even in Krishna consciousness, separation and enmity takes place due to the prominence of material propensities. So any material propensities imposed upon anyone or any circumstance or any environment, no, it just leads to enmity and separation. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-Shalaka-Chakshram-Tamina Tasma Shri-Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu-Hare Krishna-Krishna Bhutaveshna Bhaktivedanta Swami-Niti Namaste Saraswati-Devi Guru-Namascharna-Nirvishya-Shushnya-Madi-Prashya-Tilekshana Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu-Nityananda Shri-Advaita-Gadadara Sari-Gura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So again, same principle is just like duality. There's always duality. Material world means duality. That's the principle of material existence. So that means bhoga tyaga. No? We try to enjoy something and then it doesn't work because it may never work. Nothing material works on the spiritual being, no, on the spirit soul or in relationship to the spirit soul. And then you think, okay, something else will work. Something else will give me happiness. So then tyaga, you renounce this and go for something else. No? or even the same thing. Sometimes you renounce, but then again mind tricks you because it has been impressed with that kind of activity or experience. And then again you try. No, try this time. Again. Try again. Do it again. Now it will work. But then again it doesn't work, and then again bhoga. Yeah. That's what we are always exposed towards. Bhoga tyaga, bhoga tyaga, bhoga tyaga. Yeah? Always. Yeah? In some other form. We get such a bad experience, and still we don't learn. Then again, okay, because we don't have any other option. That's also there. We don't have a spiritual option. Then again we fall back. Again, struggle. Like sometimes you might have seen what would be, like a fly tries to exit the room or something, bangs in the window. No, that's such a bad experience. No, bangs into the window and then goes back. And then again does the same thing. Then again bangs the window. Yeah. It didn't learn it. It just has the impression, there's light, it means I can go out. Or something like this. No? Or sometimes you see some animals, they fall into something. No? And then they, almost they come out, but then again they slip back. Or something like this happens. Yeah. They can't get out of their compromising position. So we also slip like this. We slip like this in our life because we have an impression that yes, maybe there is something. Yeah, maybe there is something that will make us happy. But just last time we didn't consider all the circumstances. For that reason, things have gone wrong. But this time we will be more cautious and more observant of what's going on. And there's so many, mind just tricks us, mind just cheats us so many ways. No? Had bad experience, but we think, no, this time it will be different. Yeah, it might be a little bit different in some ways, but essentially everything is the same. So that's that duality of material existence. There's nothing ever different. Duality will always exist. Bhoga tyaga will always exist. And therefore another principle of material existence follows, which is hankering and lamentation. They're connected actually. So we hanker after things which we don't have, or which we had but we lost. And then again we lament because it didn't satisfy us. Yeah. So bhoga tyaga, hankering, lamentation. Duality. Yeah. That's material world is just filled with duality. And that's why again, we are with some girl and it doesn't work. Then you look for another girl. But principle is the same. Principle is the same. Again, it's based on duality. And we don't learn the lesson. Because we never had anything greater, anything better. We never practiced spiritual life to have a higher taste. So that's why here it says, which is interesting, you see now this is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, it's an eternal scripture. No, it's not something that is, spoken just maybe 5,000 years ago or something. Even if we would take it as such 5,000 years ago, we see the same thing. Same propensity, same conditioning. Everything is described as what it is going on nowadays. No. People have propensity to cheat. They fight over money, they become enemies. They come together, they call it in a marriage, they call it love and hate relationship. People hate each other, but just because of sex life, okay, then they're friends again. Once that's over, again, they're enemies. So for some time it will go on, but as Prabhupada points out here, he said, it's not going to last for long. At some point it is really going to break, because they'll find someone else. They'll find someone else. Because again, there is no dharma, there is no higher principle, so therefore that relationship cannot be sustained. No? Because there is no understanding of anyone's nature, anyone's conditioning, and how to address it. No dharma, no understanding. It cannot last. It will not last. No. So that's why they become enemies. And then of course, that's a very good point here. Prabhupada said, they become enemies, they fight over money. That's always there. Financial condition. It means shelter. Eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. No? Defending meaning how one is situated. What kind of shelter one has. So it's just material propensity. It's a material propensity. So that's why always money. And you will see that when people get divorced, it's also again so much about money. You're seeing how much is. That's pretty heavy. We should have one whole presentation to be clear really what's happening realistically in the world. Even I don't have to talk about the Western world, but you hear about so many people, they have to pay half of that, whatever, to their wives and this and that, and so many things happen. Here in India also, the court gives the order, then you have to work hard and pay for someone you hate so much. And that continues. Okay, you want divorce or something, okay, fine, but then you keep on paying every month and work hard. For what? For what? What do you gain out of that? Nothing. So much pain, because you have to provide for something that you get nothing out of it. You just had some little sex life, sometimes some years ago, but you still have to keep on paying. Both ways also. Anyway, it goes. It's just really filled with enmity, fighting with money, for properties. I heard that one devotee who has a court case with his ex-wife, things are still going on, it's really hellish. So then he told me then also how in Muslim community now, divorce rate is spiking, they're also filing for divorce. And he told me that in this case, there was one woman, she was sending the court notice invitation to her husband, but on the wrong address purposely. So he was never coming.
Yes,
This happens, yes. So he was never coming, and then the court just made a declaration, and she got whatever she asked for, because he was not appearing. But he didn't know. He never knew about it, because somehow she managed that all these things go to the wrong place, which he never received. So much eating. So she got some properties and whatever this and that. It's like so much eating going on. In the beginning you think, she is the. Talking from our side, women are also in illusion. Oh, he's the prince on the white horse. And we will be happy forever. Later they just really again hate each other. They hate. Hate means it's like here Prabhupada talks about envy also. Hate, every conditioned soul is envious of another. Hate means, or envy means, you just want to destroy someone else. You envy or hate them to such an extent. So that's why, they're enemies, but then they come back together again for what? For some sense gratification. But then again they realize it doesn't work. And then it's like, really, but when are we going to learn something? No? When are we going to learn something? We never learn. It's so funny. So sad actually. But what to do? Same thing goes on in any kind of material sphere of existence. You see the countries. Sometimes countries fight together. Sometimes countries fight amongst each other. Political parties also, they keep on shifting. There's no credibility. There's no, it's like there's no commitment. There's no single goal. It's just games going on. Whenever suits gratification, yes. Whenever it doesn't, okay, it's over. It's just so disgusting. It's just there's no integrity at all. So that's material world. So what do you expect? What do you expect? If you expect anything nice, then you're a fool. And you're a fool. Because Srimad Bhagavatam clearly states it doesn't work. It's not going to work. The material platform, it just won't work. Any kind of dealing like this. Because, again, what is the underlying conditioning? Cheating propensity. Cheating propensity. How many times we hear, that sometimes women, they get cheated. They never knew who that man was. They never knew. He presented himself in a certain way, this and that. Then they get married. Then they later on find out, oh, my God, who is that fellow? There was one case, I remember now. There was one girl from Ireland. And there was one fellow from Palestine. And he was a terrorist. And she never knew that. Because he never told her. And so they lived together happily in Ireland. And they got, and she became pregnant. He was very nice and courteous and this and that, everything. And she got pregnant. And then, she was coming to, or she was leaving Israel in a flight. And then, and that was in 80s. Nowadays it's much more stricter, way how they check your belongings and this and that. But even then, they were checking luggage and this and that. And they found out that there was a bomb in her suitcase. He planted the bomb in her suitcase. And she was shocked. She was shocked because at first she couldn't believe, then this custom immigration, I don't know what their security there, whatever. They found a bomb. She said, what kind of bomb, how is possible? She was, because what that meant, if the bomb would explode, she would also be dead, and that child would also be dead, no? Understand? And so many people would be dead, of course, who are on the plane. Jewish people means, from Israel then, because Palestine is within Israel. No? So whoever would be traveling, that whole plane, Haribo, So she was like, she couldn't for years, she couldn't, of course, who would, you're in such an illusion, thinking something that it's not. And, so you see how we get cheated, everybody like this. We are in such an illusion. We have no idea whom we are dealing with, what is their nature. And everybody, when boy and girl come together, everybody's at their best, presenting things that, this, and it keeps you in illusion. But those illusions never last forever, no? But you get trapped, you get entangled, and you keep on, you create impressions. which again, you will want to, like it says here, it will want to bring you back together, no? Yeah. So that's a very, very, very shocking life kind of experience. And then, yes, divorce. But even if divorce happens, then again you're looking for someone else, thinking this will be better. Another illusion. So life is filled with so many examples like this, so many examples. Everybody is disappointed because nobody's in connection to Krishna. No? Nobody's in connection to Krishna. The boys turn to be rascals, and the girls also turn to be who knows also what, this and that. It just happens. Of course, only sometimes when people do have a little culture, they try to somehow maintain that marriage by some higher so-called cultural principle. But nowadays we see it's almost impossible. Because nobody cares about culture, nobody cares about dharma. Everybody's just selfish. If I like it, it will work. If I don't like it, it's not going to work. That's it. That's all. Yeah. So that's why, although people may be enemies, in order to fulfill their desires again and again, they sometimes get married. So you see that there's no principle. Nothing is full. There's no principle. Again, it's just if I like, it's fine. That's the principle. If I like it, okay. If I don't like it, doesn't matter. No matter what was the past, no matter what, it's present. Of course, we can understand what will do the future. Yeah. Like no credibility, it says no character. Just imagine somebody is your greatest, somebody kills your whole family or something, no? And then you decide or you agree to serve that person or something. Because you're getting some benefit out of it. No? Horrible. I mean, these things were going on, like when India was invaded, no? When India was invaded, what was going on? What did sultans do, to people, and what was going on? And then somebody would, because they would get material facility or something, then they would convert also, and like that, So, again, just material estimation. So many things. Anyway, yeah. But everything again based on cheating propensity. It's all cheating. We want to cheat and we will be cheated. It's like this. That's why Dharma has to be understood. What is the higher principle? How really one should act in any given position. So if that's not understood, then it will always be like this. Bhoga, tyaga, hankering, lamentation forever. That's it. You never get out of it. Okay, any questions on this?
Prabhuji, in any situation, how we decide what is dharma?
We don't decide what is dharma. We learn what is dharma.
How we...
You have to learn what is dharma. First of all, what is your nature? What is your dharma? Then, according to nature, what is your work? Then that is the dharma of the work. Everything is very clear, and you learn what is the dharma of other natures, and you learn what is the dharma of other types of work. That's why varnashram, no? It's not difficult at all. It's just very clear. Why Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Chaturvanyamaya Srishtam Guna Karma Bhag, then he speaks Shamo Dhamma, Shaucham, Tapa, what is that, Kshanti Majama, Vevacham. It speaks who is Brahmana, it speaks who is Vaishya, it speaks who is Shudra. It means what is the nature? What are the qualities? What is the activity? That's it. Then speaks about ashram, okay, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha. What are the duties? What are the qualifications? What are the qualities again? It just becomes clear. And then in this situation, how is one supposed to relate to other? How is one junior supposed to relate to senior? No, it's a nature. It's expected. Otherwise, the whole society, the whole structure breaks down. And nowadays, there is nothing of this going on. That's why the whole structure is broken down. It's just big nonsense. It's just animal life. That's the point. Whatever I like, I'll do it. What is that? But when somebody else likes and does, do you like it? No, you don't. So then, how is it going to work? So sometimes there are certain restraints that have to be exercised, no? Yeah. So then we know what it is, and then we can be, just like, again, simple example, driving. If you know the rules how to drive, then you will drive safely and, with pleasure, and then everybody else will drive safely with pleasure. You don't follow the rules and principle, that's going to be a mess, chaos, no? Simple. That's what Dharma is. Okay? Yeah.
You said if someone cheat on us, you let us say, when we cheat back, then what is the difference between them and us?
Difference is we're doing it for Krishna, not for selfish purpose. Understand? But only in such circumstance, not that becomes what we discussed, habit. Not that it becomes nature. That should not happen. Only in the case that, when, you're facing some loss because somebody is uncharactered, then you don't allow that to happen. That's it. Understand? Not that later on you deal with everyone like that.
If somebody cheated many times,
But then you're a fool. Then why are you dealing with such person? Understand? Why are you dealing with such person? Why didn't you learn the lesson? This person is a cheater. Stay away from him. Haribol, close the chapter. Okay. So Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.